Got it.
We're awesome. What? I don't know why it's not going to my computer, but it's all good. We're using my phone right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. The internet here is
No, that's okay.
a little difficult. All right, Pastor. Well,
But all right,
it's great to see you, first of all.
good to see you.
All right.
Our
So,
first video conference.
all right, here we go. Are you ready to get started?
Let's do it.
All right, fantastic. So, Pastor Steve, I understand that you are a current alumni of SAGU. Can you tell me a little bit about
I am an alumnus.
an alumnus? Can you tell me what you took away from the school and what was most helpful and what things that I might want to really hone in on and understand for my future leadership career?
Right. I think the things I took from Southwestern, of course, not only just the basic biblical knowledge and the theology and all that stuff in preparation, but I think my time with SAGU via distance at that's how I finished out was really what impressed me most was the ability for my professors and the willingness for them to help me in my schedule and everything. And so one of the things I took away from SAGU was just that understanding that leadership is willing to serve
Oh yeah.
and being available for people that looking up to you. And so that's something I really took away from SAGU. Leadership courses, of course, I think with a lot of the experience that on the campus, a lot of professors who've been on the front lines, I think it's really crazy to say this, but one of the things I think would take away from any student would be to really be able to be teachable and not to kind of tune your professors out when they start going through life applicable situations.
Yeah.
And even situations that you not think you'll ever encounter, whether it's questions in theology or theology classes or whatnot. But, I think that's some of the important things is to remain teachable all 4 years. And always try to continue to stay in contact with them because you never know when you might have a question that you can refer to them and ask them for their help.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that my professor Hayes, he told me about was one of the biggest problems about young students is that they go into a church and they feel like they have all the answers. And one of the things that you were reiterating is that you must be teachable in order to be a leader. Was that basically one of the most important things you're saying? All right, very good.
Even after 20 years, after 20 years, I still try to stay teachable.
Oh yeah, it's very good. It's a humbling thing. What character traits have you seen in yourself or most leaders that you can see as a parallel? This seems to lead towards success.
I think competence and vision. In essence, they understand what God's called them to do, and they're
Vision, okay.
in getting there. Okay, so you've got to be able to be a visionary. You've got to be able to be a person that loves people, so that way when people come to you, you feel comfortable. I think if you're going into the pastoral route, honing in your skill and communication from the pulpit is vital. Success, being self-motivated and being a self-starter. If you're not a self-motivated or self-starter, you're not going to be very successful.
Wow, okay. Excellent. Yeah, well, I mean, I remember actually with you, one day I sat in your office trembling and I came with certain things that I felt like needed to be changed in the church, and I understand now that even if you have people coming to you in ignorance, there's still a sense of humility and understanding that their walk with God truly isn't where you are. And as a leader, you have to love them beyond their ignorances, essentially, right?
Right. Or not even just ignorances, maybe just disagreements.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's just part of a leader. A leader. We've got to be humble. We really do, because sometimes we are wrong, and so you've just got to be willing to to be able to admit when you're not, admit when you're not in, taking the best course of action and be willing to reverse if something better comes along. And you know that the Lord said, wait a minute, this isn't going. So I think another thing to be
I apologize if you can hear me. There's some poor internet connection.
okay. Thing I think to be successful, you need to have humility
All right, there we go. Very good.
for attack.
Okay.
Okay.
And on the flip side of that, I would really like to
Amen.
look at what are some of the hindrances you've found maybe in your own life that keep you from being the successful leader that you know God's called you to?
Well, just on a personal note, sometimes insecurities or that
Insecurities.
competitive spirit, yeah, or being competitive to where you compare yourself to other people. I know
Okay.
early on in my ministry, looking at other larger youth groups, I would get discouraged because I would ask myself, be at that place, Um, so I think insecurities or comparison with somebody. I think another thing sometimes is not being able to focus on the task that you need to do,
Okay.
and so yeah, instead of
So being kind
focusing
of
on
spread
something
too
that
thin is what you're saying? Like you have too many things on your
yeah, being
plate?
spread too thin, right? But either letting that happen or just being whether it's just wasting time doing dumb things. So you need to learn how to prioritize to maximize your time in the office, your time pool,
Yes.
in time for preparation. Would be some of the things that hindered me in the past.
All right, excellent. Okay. I do greatly apologize about our Sagu internet. It's a great time over here. Um, one final question. I would really like to know, you in my life, you're someone that I would look up to. Who are some people in your life that you have seen transforming through leadership that you really aspire to be like? Not, as you said, not comparison, but you see good things in them.
Right. Oh, there's so many. I mean, when I was growing up, my youth pastors growing up, and when I was off in college, we you know, there's a couple of youth pastors that really were invested a lot in my life. And one of them, in fact, and he was my youth pastor, and his leadership into me and developed me. So, do ministries like what I saw Kyle do with my life. Another person that I've seen develop and grow was Brett Bullock. He's a pastor in Louisiana.
Okay.
I was his first youth pastor, but as a young pastor, I just saw him develop and take a church of that was segregated. It was predominantly all-white church, but we were in a very diverse culture there in Louisiana between black and white. And I saw him in 5 years take a church that was all white and literally probably lead it into a very diverse culture. We're probably talking 60-40 as far as percentage with whites and blacks. And taking a church that was in the sticks of Louisiana from like 150 to over. So through his leadership, I saw a lot of humility, a lot of thinking, a lot of effort in reaching the community, and unafraid, I guess fearless in his approach to reach the lost. Um, Pastor Jamie is a leader that I've seen. He's taken Brightmoor from where it was before to where it is now.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of, with Pastor Jamie, there's a lot of wisdom beyond his years. And so, some people like that up close. There's been so many guys that I've just rubbed elbows with. Dan Hunter, he was a guy I went to youth group with, and I saw what he did at the Oaks. Now he's planted a church, and he's doing great things.
Yeah.
And so, when I get to talk to Dan, it's a blessing because, it's a guy that you see doing things and just really stepping out there and living large for the kingdom. And so that's just a couple of them, I would say.
That's very good. One common trait that I saw in all the people that you saw as mentors and great people is something that I did see in you the first time you came to Franklin Road. It was before you even established your ministry as our youth pastor. You went to almost every athletic game, and it was something that was saying, you know what, I'm not even part of you guys yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to sacrifice my time, because there are obviously things that you could be doing other than seeing people play basketball terribly. And
Right.
and that's something that I think you'll agree is a must in a leader, is someone who, even though you feel inferior, even though you feel like they could be spending their time in a different way, they spend it with you, and they really invest time.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And that's what Jesus did. He hung out with his people.
Yeah. Well, Pastor, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.